Hey everyone, so we have an update from the big news yesterday from Brandon Sanderson himself. It looks like this dropped about 22 hours ago. But yeah, Brandon updated us with a Reddit post on r/Cosmere, and we're going to read it right now. Hey all, news has broken. Rather than post on all the threads, I figured I would do a new post on here with some info and thoughts. In May, I flew to Hollywood to start looking for a new partner on the Cosmere. This is something I've done before, but this time it was different. I'd been off the market for many years, working with Epic and my friends there. That means this was my first time being in Hollywood with my Cosmere rights since, 2016. This time, I got to meet with the real decision makers, not just producers or low-level executives, and this led to some really tough choices. I got the red carpet treatment and liked everyone I met. This isn't like super new, we just get more details. Like, we knew Brandon was kind of shopping around the Cosmere for a while, but I guess he was just looking for the right home for the Cosmere, and Apple TV seems to have met that. Let's continue reading. The decision to pick Apple was due to two factors. First, the level of approvals and control. Apple wants to be a true partner with me, and they feel like they really get what I want to do. Again, that's fantastic. Keep Brandon at the head of all of this. That's what we want. Second, their track record. Apple does fewer things, but with higher quality than some other studios. I fully agree. In fact, that's one thing that I pointed out in the last video. While I'm not familiar with Apple's entire catalog, everything I've seen from them has been fantastic. I find virtually everything of theirs I watch is excellent and creator-driven. Join me on a live stream Friday, probably 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I'll talk more then. But I will be writing the Mistborn screenplay myself over the next 5 months. Yes! That means that this is already in pre-production. Like, do y'all understand that? That is pre-production. That's, well, I mean a part of pre-production, but that means that Mistborn is, according to this, in pre-production. Like, this is happening. This is not, it's gonna start soon. This appears to be actively happening right now. I would be writing the Mistborn screenplay myself over the next 5 months as my full-time work. Goal is for a theatrical Mistborn, then Stormlight show after. Focus on doing it carefully and right. I promise not to get too distracted to do books. However, if I want this done right, I need to give some real attention and heart to it now. And while that does sound, it's probably going to adjust the schedule for the book release. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. But then again, Brandon is a really fast writer. I mean, a book a year is insane. As someone who's trying to write a book right now, granted, I'm not a professional writer, a book a year is insane. I've been writing one for 2 years now, and I still don't feel like it's even close to done. But all that being said, yes, I fully support a little bit later of a release on the new books so that we can get this magnificent release of Mistborn and Stormlight. This is what we've been wanting for so long, and I'm just glad that we finally get it. I also want to take time to mention the screenwriting aspect of this. That's really cool. I did watch Daniel Green cover this topic a little while ago, and he shared something that I didn't really even know. Brandon Sanderson has kind of been apparently studying the differences of writing a book versus writing a screenplay, and that makes sense, with his time with the Wheel of Time. From what I understand, he went on set to go oversee that for a little bit. He's been talking to writers about this for a while. He's been studying the differences, and I'm very curious to see, what he's going to do with that. But I can't wait to see character casting for this. I'm super pumped about that. My favorite character in all of the Cosmere, which I imagine a lot of you feel the same way, is Hoid. And just thinking of who could play Hoid would be so fun. For Hoid's cast, I always kind of got the vibe of Elliot from The Magicians, played by Hale Appleman. Maybe he could have a little bit more of a bird nose. That is one of the key aspects to describe Hoid. But I think his physique kind of fits the character really well. And I also think he could kind of play that kind of jester, but intellectual, mysterious guy. If that makes any sense. That's a terrible description. So I'm not saying he would be the guy to play Hoid, but he would definitely be one of my main picks. And I know there's not a lot to go off of right now. We just got this news yesterday. But if you're curious as to when we could see the first Mistborn movie, it sounds like that's going to be what comes first. Give it roughly 5 or 6 years. I know when they did Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, I think took about 5 years. And I think that's a fair comparison. And I know that seems like a long time, but I will say this, as someone who is in their 30s, 5 years is nothing. 5 years is actually pretty fast. Brandon's already writing the screenplay, so we've started on that, but we still have to go through picking actors, hiring directors, hiring crew, building sets, gathering post-production, and mapping out CGI. And yes, this is going to have CGI. I think that's a given. I know a lot of people think CGI is a bad word, but it's not. CGI, if used correctly, is a wonderful tool, and you see it in just about everything that you watch, and a lot of times you may not even notice. In fact, the only times you notice CGI is when it's bad CGI. And I know a lot of you, some of you even in the comments on yesterday's video, were expressing that you would want to see the Cosmere animated. And while I don't disagree with you, I don't think Apple is going to do that. From what I can tell, they don't have any animation on their platform, so that would make the Cosmere the first, and I just don't see that being very likely. So for now, we're going to assume this is live action. And if you want to see great examples of CGI, I'd recommend checking out Corridor Crew or Corridor Digital. They really kind of break the facade on the VFX side of filmmaking and kind of show you what it takes to make something really magnificent versus something really crappy. And it's really fun to watch. So let's just all sit back and wait. We're going to keep getting the news in for this. I'm going to try to cover as much as I can. I do have a full-time job, so I'm probably not going to be able to jump on everything. That's why I don't post often. But this is just something so cool that I just have to sneak away from work and kind of post on real quick. But that's it. That's a solid update. Hope you guys are having a great day. Later.